Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Week number 7 now for the DRT from Lima Land. I am here as well with my good friend AJ, who's back with us once again. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing great, and I am ready for the Buckeye Brawl here at the Lima Land Motorsports Park, where the Dirt Racing Tour will do battle once again after a week off here on the Tudacan 79 on Twitch and the Elbows Up Facebook page. Ready to rock, man. It seems like it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a little while. You've been gone doing the whole kid thing. So, more
Yeah,
more power to
I
you.
got kids.
Well, I'm glad you take care of them. That's important. Kids, that's important. But
It's rare these days. It's rare.
very rare, very rare. But we got a pretty interesting night. I think Lima Land always a fun track to go to. One of my favorites. Always a lot of real close racing. This build, the races have been really good. Where a lot of times they've been around the top side of the racetrack, we're going to see some different lines here. So depending on car count, we're going to see maybe a track reset in here and a format change. So it's it's gonna be a nice little change of pace. I think we're gonna have pretty close to 5 heat races. We got quite a few in the server. Practice will be firing off here in just a little bit.
Yeah, and these cars, let me tell you, at my count, there are 13 iRacing World of Outlaw Pro drivers in this lineup right now, and one that was qualified and relinquished his spot. So I mean, these is we got some drivers in
and
this one.
and I will say, even though I hate to burst, pump your ego any more than it already is, but also congratulations to Mr. AJ Job for putting it into the Pro Series once again this year, second year in a row. So,
I appreciate that. I wasn't going to say that the 14th is in the broadcast booth, but well, you do you.
that's
So
just how awesome DRT is. We got pros on the racetrack, pros in the booth, former wash-ups like me in the booth. It's great. Last week we had, and again, big thanks to Justin Prince last week for filling in for AJ. So we'll probably be seeing Justin a little bit more here later on throughout the rest of the DRT season. But while we were away, missed it last week. We took a week off, basically kind of a mid-season break. Nothing too crazy. As Lane Stevens, hello in the chat, sir. But we've got a shakeup in the points right now. Actually, the losing my mind here. John Batista actually basically did everything that he needed to do over the last 5 or 6 races, but James Edens came in and hasn't ran out of the top 5 yet. So James Edens, after the point drop, or after the first half drop of points, he is sitting at the top of the leaderboard with John right behind him at 700. So got a lot of fast guys behind him. Kevin Click, and actually 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, there's 5 pros in the top 10 right now. Jeremy Zarfos, I know, was just on the outside looking into the Pro Series. Kevin
yeah, Click as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
Kevin Click, those guys were literally the next 2 guys to get into the Pro Series. Michael Sheridan, former pro as well. Dan Zager's picking up some speed. But it looks like we are getting ready to go practice here for the Buckeye Brawl. And we've got
It's
Oh, go
it's
ahead.
not surprising to me that James Edens is in the lead in the point standings. I mean, we've seen Batista really control that most of the year. But that's another thing that you got to factor in league racing, the same way you do in pro qualifiers and even just a season on iRacing. You're going to get some drop weeks, and after those drop weeks come in, those points will change. So
Yeah, it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference as far as that drop week is something good to have in the back of your head. As actually we see him and Sheridan getting into it a little bit, but David Heilman going quick time so far in practice. Got something new for qualifying coming up here, which is actually which is actually going to be pretty cool as we get ready to go, as they are getting ready to throw the checkered flag on practice.
Yeah, we got some new toys this week. Mr. Billy was doing a little bit of work to the broadcast overlays and other things like that. There's a lot of programming that goes into this stuff here, and trial and error when it comes to programming, of course.
Absolutely. But we will be qualifying now. We'll go with Rusty Kruger, first one onto the racetrack. 2 minutes, 2 laps, whichever you get done first. But here's your top 30 on the left side of your screen. So at a five heat race field, that's going to be your invert. So it'll be we'll be able to see everybody's laps as Dustin Griffith's quick time so far on the board, but Eden's quickly bumps him through.
Eden's right in the middle of the racetrack, making it work. It's going to be on the top before we get done here at the Lima Land Motorsports Park, but if it's on the top in qualifying, you have to be very careful to not touch that wall, because as soon as you touch it, your lap is invalidated. Colton Davis with a 10.631 goes to quick time. We're looking at some of the other drivers here getting on the racetrack. Hayden Cardwell, the late model champion in iRacing, who is now a certified sprint car pro as well on the track. He's going to give it a shot here. We'll see what he clicks off on this lap. 10.576 quick time for Hayden Cardwell. 40 seconds left in this session. Lewis Hewitt still on track. Alex Bergeron clocks in at 6th. Kendall Tucker out on track as well, so we'll keep an eye on those guys. Lewis Hewitt P6 there in the 3 car. Kendall Tucker across the line with a 10.706. We'll see if he can better it on his second lap, sitting 8th right now.
And as you say, he clipped the wall.
Yeah.
So invalidated the lap.
That's one of those iRacing deals, and it bites you in dirt on the short tracks more often than not. As qualifying ends, Hayden Cardwell, quick time, will start 6th here in heat race number 1. Of course, we've got the heat race inverts. But that, anytime in qualifying, you don't, sometimes there's wall riders or, glitches or things like that. You can't take advantage of that in qualifying because those laps get invalidated quickly if you go off track or even slightly brush the wall. So that's one of those things in dirt qualifying. And normally, not always, but normally you want to be right as close to that wall as you possibly can. And, that's one of those things that can ruin a qualifying effort for a guy.
Yeah, that's and again, these laps are going to go off rather quick. 10 laps, top 4 to, I guess, we're to the AJ, we got 4 heats or 5 tonight?
We are looking.
Looks like
4 heats. Yeah, 4 heats. And let's see, we got 10 cars in the first heat. I think Jesse Dacus didn't qualify. We'll see if he grids up here for heat race number 1. Of course, 10 laps the distance in each heat race. We are inverting 6 and transferring 4 to tonight's feature. And remember, there is always the battle for the dash positions. The quick qualifiers in the heat race, if they can get in the top 4, get the automatic berth, and then it is up to the guys and their finishing order to see who is the second car to make it into the dash through their heat race. Billy, let's talk about that starting lineup.
John Helms on the pole with Justin Stoltz to his outside, part of the Vanderpool Racing team. Dustin Griffiths from Bloomington, Indiana. It rolls off in 3rd. J.D. Brown in 4th, Slick Sim Sport driver. Another pro, Cole Newhoffen, Hayden Cardwell. Both your quick qualifiers in heat race number 1. Jeffrey Stewart just misses the invert. He will roll off 7th with David Heilman to his outside. Matt Dixon and Jesse Dacus round out the field.
Star-studded group here for heat race number 1. 10 laps the distance. We're going to go green this time as they come off of turn 4. John Helms has control. We've seen some good runs out of Helms. We'll see if he can hold on to the race lead. A little bit of a jump on the outside, but they get it all sorted out. Helms is going to lead into turn 1 and we've got the 9 car of Griffiths 3 wide. Oh, man, we got problems on the back stretch already. No caution. Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it going. John Stoltz out front, and it is David Heilemann. Heilemann from 7th, making his way forward. 8th, actually. He missed all of the carnage, and he is coming forward. He brought Cole Newhoffen with him. Dustin Griffiths under fire from Jeffrey Stewart, who is working the bottom side of the racetrack. That is your battle for the transfer spot right now. Dustin, I'm not sure if he's got a little bit of damage on that thing, but he's definitely out of his rhythm as Cole Newhoffen moves his way past Heilemann into 2nd. Those boys are doing battle back and forth right now.
And Jeffrey Stewart's really reeling them in. This is one of his more favorite tracks in the sim. And like we said multiple times, you start sliding guys, Newhoffen into the fence.
Oh no, Stoltz into the fence. He's going to lose that spot to Heilemann. He gets it gathered up. Newhoffen, as you said, in the fence as well. Griffiths around the outside. We got another car flipping down the front stretch. It's going to be a caution. That is the 14 of J.D. Brown, who was upside down. We'll get an instant replay on that here.
Yes, we're pulling it up here. J.D. Brown.
Yeah, it looks to me like JD was unaware that the 72 of Jeffrey Stewart was there in the middle of the track, and then it looks like those 2 cars got hooked. A little bit of net code there.
Yeah, that's one of those things that there's really not a whole lot that you can do. The big loser in that situation, though, a couple laps prior with Newhoffen getting loose, was Jeffrey Stewart. He was chasing down 2nd. And now he's sitting back in 5th. He's going to have 2 laps to go, or 3 laps to go, excuse me, when we go back green.
At least
try to
still
get
has
around.
A chance.
Yeah,
and
no damage on the car, so he's at least got a chance to try to make something happen here.
It gives Stoltz a chance to get some positions as well, who was leading this race. Found the outside retaining wall there in turns 1 and 2, and after contact with Heilemann, he got shuffled to the back quickly. So we got a couple of extra laps here to get an idea if maybe there's going to be a penalty. I would think the officials are going to look at it. I don't really think there's much of a penalty there. More or less just running out of racing room. 2 drivers not realizing where the others were. But I'm not the official, so we will see what the DRT admins say about that. So it's Heilemann, Cardwell, Newhoffen, and the 9 of Dustin Griffiths, your top 4 right now. Those are your transfers into the feature if they can stay like that. Jeffrey Stewart, the odd man out. At the moment, Matt Dixon right there as well. Looks like we might get back to green here in 1 lap. And Dustin Griffiths awarded an EOL penalty out of a transfer spot. Not sure what that's about. I imagine we could probably take a look here in the chat. Hopefully we'll get an update on that. But as it stands, ladies and gentlemen, Dustin Griffiths moving to the back of the field, and we are going racing this time by with just 3 laps remaining. Contact on the first lap was the reason Dustin Griffiths got moved to the back. Cardwell looking to make a move on Heilemann. Jeffrey Stewart on the outside here. Matt Dixon on the inside, fighting for that final transfer spot. It's Newhoffen in 2nd. Cardwell into the fence. He's going to come down the track in front of Stewart. Stewart misses him, but made contact with Dixon, who got crossed up. Now Stoltz is in the battle for a transfer spot. Working lap 10, final time around here for David Heilemann. He is going to take the win in heat race number 1. Cardwell throws the block on Stoltz and looks to hold on to the 4th and final transfer spot. Heilemann, Newhoffen, Stewart, and Cardwell, your top 4. And that will earn Hayden Cardwell a spot in the dash, as he was the quick qualifier and made his way in. David Heilemann will be the other driver making his way in as well.
Yeah, your top 4 transfers: Heilemann, Newhoffen, Stewart, and Cardwell. 3 pros. 3 pros already into the Pro Series, but so those guys will be into the dash for the evening, or into the main event, as we're getting ready to go for heat race number 2.
Cameron Merriman in the chat I actually have a compressor mic that I was using the first half of the season, but now that I've qualified for pro, I've decided to keep my wheel hooked up. I had to take the wheel off and put the mic on and do all sorts of stuff. So I'm just lazy, Cam. That's all it is.
Yeah, there is one. AJ used the word passion, which is yeah, I would agree with that. Some may call it loud and half-ass obnoxious. I'm not real sure, but either way,
As to each his own. I'm not everybody's flavor, and that's fine.
But heat race number 2, Hayden Spike Harvey, one of the best names on iRacing, I must say. On the pole with Corey Pritchett to his outside, Lane Stevens making the appearance from Bonnie Lake, Washington. So welcome, Lane. Rusty Kruger rolls off in 4th from Swindell Speed Lab. Lewis Hewitt and Colton Davis, another couple of pros in the row number 3. Tyson Landis, Alex Good, and then Brad O'Brien bringing up the rear end of the field as we are getting ready to go green this time by
10 laps the distance. Top 4 will advance. Your quick qualifier out of this heat starting in 6th, and we're going to get them green here. Harvey on the pedal into turn 1. Great start from him. He's going to have his shot to pace the field, but he hit the fence, and he's going to drop to 6th right in turn 1. Not what he wanted to do. Lane Stevens, the man who took the race lead, he's under fire on the bottom side of the racetrack from Lewis Hewitt. We had one car into the fence. That was Colton Davis in turn 1 and 2. He is dead last at the moment. Here comes Lane Stevens, going to put the slider on Hewitt. He's going to leave him some space. He's got Rusty Kruger on his rear bumper as well. Corey Pritchett is the man in the 4th and final transfer spot at the moment. Alex Good trying to chase him down. Lane Stevens into the fence and toast. That is it. Manually disconnected for Lane Stevens. No caution on the speedway. We continue. Alex Good moves into the 4th and final transfer spot here, Billy, as Lewis Hewitt is setting sail.
Yeah, Lewis Hewitt doing what Lewis Hewitt does, taking off and running away and hiding in heat races. But pretty good battle here, running around the cushion with Kruger and Pritchett, which Pritchett's been fast in a lot of these DRT races, just hasn't had a lot of luck. Same thing really with Lane Stevens too. So we saw him back at Volusia, checked out and gone in the heat race and get himself into a little bit of trouble. So kind of a lot of moisture. But Alex Good better be careful. 2 laps to go, and Brad O'Brien is ripping the fence down.
He's right there. Oh, a dive to the inside. Good. O'Brien going to take that spot away from Good, but Good not giving up here. And the wall bites another one. There's still a lot of moisture on this track, but I'm watching these drivers really slip off of turn 2. Lewis Hewitt takes the white flag. We've still got the battle for the transfer here. O'Brien has caught Good once more on the high side. He gets around him. Can he hold it through 3 and 4? Good into the infield tire, and Brad O'Brien takes the 4th and final transfer position. Lewis Hewitt, Rusty Kruger. 3rd place goes to Corey Pritchett, and Brad O'Brien taking the 4th and final transfer there on the final lap.
Yeah, good run for Brad O'Brien there. Be able to get around there. So we are already into heat race number 3. We got another really good one here too.
Yeah, that's just I don't want to call it top heavy because it's really just heavy.
Yeah, this one's heavy all around. Rico Robles on the pole with Braden Eiler to his outside. Dustin Hall from Slick Sim Sport in the 3rd position. Jeremy Zarfos, Brutmark Sim Team driver. Also top 10 in points right now with DRT. Starts in the 4th spot. Alex Bergeron rolling off in 5th with James Edens in 6th. Kevin Hanley rolls off in 7th with Kevin Click to his outside. And Trey Galgon rounds out your field in 9th.
Seeing some new paint schemes on these boys as well. Braden Eiler and Alex Bergeron. Eiler sporting his pro paint scheme. I think that's Bergeron's regular scheme. He's keeping his under wraps for right now, but those boys will be firing off on Monday. Monday evening is when the Pro Series will start.
Yeah, so that'll be I always like Pro Season to see the new paints. A lot of the Swindell ones look really good. So
You know, if you can't win them, you got to get your style points. That's the next
right.
best thing.
That's right. If you can't win it, be pretty.
Green flag is out. Rico Robles with the lead, going to try to slide up in front of Braden Eiler. Goes missing there for a moment on my screen. Eiler on the high side, looking to take the lead off of turn 4. Not quite able to do it. Into the fence goes Eiler, upside down in turn 1 and 2. Caution is out.
Tough break for Eiler there. As Rico's having a little bit of connection issues there, unfortunately. But we'll go back and watch again of what happened to Mr. Eiler here. We'll go actually on board. We'll actually go on board here with Eiler. You know what? I almost wonder, Robles blinking out, did that mess his... Nope. Hey, Eiler just got tight getting into the corner, and that's all she wrote.
You know, I thought about that at first, and then in my mind, you know, turn 1, if you don't get that thing turned in correctly, can bite you very quickly. I've even done it on a restart before. But I think what he was trying to do was stay off of Robles, give Robles enough space, and he might have actually lifted a little bit, which might have pointed that nose in the wrong direction as well. So Braden Eiler on the high side, trying to get as much as he could, and got a little too much for his money. But we're going to go green here once more, working lap 3 in heat race number 3. Robles gives him green once again. Zarfos on the high side, probably has no idea where Robles is, but he is on the gas nonetheless. Edens and Bergeron working that transfer position right now. Ooh, contact there with the wall for Zarfos. He makes contact with another car as well. I think that's Dustin Hall, I believe. Those two guys all the way to the back. That moves James Edens into second place. He's into the wall coming out of turn 2 there. Like I said, Billy, turn 2 turning into a problem corner for these guys early. This track is drying out right there.
Yeah, and Bergeron gets in trouble there too. What we got to watch here is if Bergeron's trying to put himself into the dash.
Boy, that's a power move right there, and Edens gives him just enough space to squeeze through on the outside. Alex Bergeron to the race lead. Edens not giving up. He would like to take that spot as well. Of course, this is important for those dash spots here. Edens actually, I believe, was the quick qualifier in this one, so both of these guys running 1 and 2 will make it in if they can hold like that. White flag is out for Bergeron. Let's take a look at that transfer battle currently held. Oh, Edens, with Bergeron's problems, gets around him on the final lap. James Edens going to win heat race number 3. Bergeron, third place, ends up with Rico Robles, and Kevin Hanley will take the final transfer spot in 4th. Rico was off screen there for a moment. I wasn't sure if he was going to hold on to that spot, but it did take him in 3rd there.
Yeah, and that's got implications because that might not put Bergeron into the dash. So that might have been a very, very big costly mistake for him there. But we will go into heat race number 4, the 4th and final one on the docket for the day. Andrew May starting on the front row with Trey Osborne to his outside. Daniel Zagers from Pella, Iowa in row number 2 with John Batista, former point leader. We're currently 2nd in points to his outside. Kendall Tucker, and I got to say the really, really good looking car.
Fresh paints on row 3. Look at them.
Yeah, Kendall Tucker, and we'll get a better look at him here when we get this off the screen. But Adam Elby and Kendall Tucker there in row number 3. Michael Sheridan and Mark Broderick teammates in row number 4, and Gage Stevens out off the rear.
You know, let's give a little props here, and I'm not sure who the gentleman is that does the paints for the Swindell Speed Lab machines. I am partial to my broadcast partner. I like the paints that I get off of Mr. Tunican, but a close second for me is the guys doing work over there at Swindell Speed Labs, and I'm sure those are their pro paints there for Tucker and Elby, so you'll be seeing a lot more of them. Definitely good-looking cars.
Very, very good-looking cars as we are getting ready to go green flag racing here.
Keep an eye on row 2 here. You got the elbows up sim sport driver of Daniel Zeggers, who has been doing ever more in that machine. We talked about him being a road racing ace, taking on the dirt. And then you've got John Batista still fighting for that championship here in the DRT. Green flag is out. Andrew May slides up in front of Trey Osborne. He will lead coming out of turn 2. Slips. Osborne makes contact, and we have a huge schmozzle down the backstretch.
10 points for using schmozzle. I don't even really know where to begin with that one, but we'll go back and see. I know Zeggers was kind of in the middle of that all, so we'll go back and see here.
Yeah, Andrew May is going to slip off of turn 2. Trey Osborne runs into his back bumper, which shoots him down the racetrack into Zeggers, which puts Zeggers into Kendall Tucker. John Batista got some of that, but was able to keep it going. Mark Broderick, and is that Sheridan? They're going to get some of that. Yes. As they have absolutely nowhere to go. Looks like Sheridan got the worst of it because he's going to lose a front wing. I mean, it's just about involved every car on the racetrack.
Yeah, pretty much Osborne was the only one that didn't get collected in that some way, shape, or form. So rough start to heat race number 1.
We are green once more. Trey Osborne is your race leader. John Batista, Kendall Tucker, and Adam Elby, your top 4. 5th place, Gage Stevens is the guy on the outside looking in at that transfer spot as well. 3 wide there for 5th, as Batista under fire from Kendall Tucker for 2nd. Woo! Batista slides up the racetrack, makes contact with Tucker. That's going to shoot him back. Gage Stevens going to try to take that spot, and Tucker's into the fence off of 2. Sideways and out. Tucker's going to try to get it turned around. He's looking for a caution. The caution is not flying, so now he's in the way of the leaders. Gets out of the way, so class move there by Kendall Tucker. Trey Osborne, still your race leader. Batista in 2nd, Elby in 3rd. And the battle for 4th is underway with Gage Stevens and Michael Sheridan, who is front wingless, but making the bottom side work, Billy.
Yeah, just probably down a little bit on power and just can't get going down there, or can't get going around the top. So
slide job for the race lead here. John Batista gets around Trey Osborne, but Osborne fights back. He's going to try to hold the middle through 1 and 2. Does not work out for him, as Batista able to clear and come off of turn 4 with control of this race. We've got 2 laps left. Adam Elby in 3rd. We're watching these guys battle up front. It is Michael Sheridan who has the 4th and final transfer spot and has control, really. Final lap here. John Batista looking off of turn 4. He's going to take the victory. Looks like Adam Elby going to take 2nd. Trey Osborne in 3rd. And Michael Sheridan, the Wounded Warrior, able to come home in 4th and take that final transfer position out of heat race number 4.
Definitely not the way you want to do it. Definitely not the way you want to do it. But yeah, Batista picked up the win. Elby, Osborne, Sheridan. So a lot of fast guys. Broderick, Stevens, and Tucker and Zeger's all going to go to the lesser mains here. And so we are going to be taking, I believe, 4 out of the C main into the back of the B.
And then 8 out of the B main will move their way into the feature. So this is the tough one right here. You've got to get past this C main. And ladies and gentlemen, there is no shortage of talent in this one as well. Billy, if you want to go ahead with that starting lineup, this is going to be a wild one.
Yeah, Gage Stevens on the pole with Justin Stoltz outside. Tyson Landis, Team SETI driver. Out of the 3rd hole, Dustin Hall from Slick Sim Sport outside to him. Kendall Tucker rolls off 5th. John Helms in 6th. Lane Stevens bumps off in 7th. We saw him leading the heat race earlier. Braden Eiler, tough break in his heat race as well, rolls off 8th. Daniel Zegers and Jesse Dacus rounds out the field, which it looks like Dacus did not make the call. So we are going to go 12 laps top 4 transfer.
Well, this is a tough one to call here. We've got quick cars, we've got iRacing pros, we've got a little bit of everything. You know, a guy like Lane Stevens was in the lead of his heat race before making contact with the wall. He's going to be starting at the rear of this field. So who's going to come forward? And I think the idea is going to be survival. You've got to make sure you are there to get that transfer spot. We're going green for 12 laps here. Coming off of turn 4, Gage Stevens gives them the green. Justin Stoltz going to file in behind him. Top side is the choice there, but yeah, we are all over each other coming out of turn 2. Tyson Landis working the middle. Stevens with control of this race. Kendall Tucker on the bottom has worked his way into second and is now trying to get around the race leader. Dustin Hall, Braden Eiler moving his way up into the transfer positions. Looks like the bottom is where it's at right now, Billy.
Yeah, the top side's just getting slicked off. We see Tyson Landis going a little bit backwards right now, trying to make the top side work, but Eiler's the man on the move.
Tucker into the fence on the front straightaway. He's going to give away the race lead momentarily, but he's still going. Justin Stoltz has a problem and has manually disconnected. Not sure what happened there. Boy, Gage Stevens hanging tough with those pro boys up top.
Yeah, Gage running really, really good right now. Part of the School of Sim Racing team. They've gotten faster and faster as these seasons have gone. Eiler
Wow,
with a
Eiler
big
says,
move.
get Eiler away, baby. A little bit of a bump there to Tucker. Stevens having none of it, however. Wow, we got a lot of traffic here halfway through this C main in what has shaped up to be the best race of the night so far. Gage Stevens holding on to the race lead. Braden Eiler trying to catch the bottom there, slid up the racetrack just a little bit. That's going to give Helms a look.
Oh, and Tucker
Dustin
into the
Holt,
fence.
sorry, yeah, Kendall Tucker into the fence and out of the transfer positions, now sitting in 6th. I'm not sure if he's still going.
Yeah, he is still on the racetrack, 3 to go, but that thing's broke.
Yeah, it's the idea is almost dead, making this race twice. A tough break here for Kendall Tucker. Braden Eiler and Dustin Hall doing battle for 2nd and 3rd right now, and the battle for the transfer spot is up to Tyson Landis and Lane Stevens at the moment. The 33 car is all over the back of the Wicked Relief Gum number 31. Big slider there. Landis going to get back around him. Out front, Gage Stevens still pacing this race, really showing a lot of class right now. Like in Lima Land at the moment, white flag is out. Braden Eiler going to put the slide job in. Stevens the over-under, and the drag race to the line gives it to Gage Stevens. Braden Eiler in 2nd, Dustin Hall in 3rd, and Tyson Landis will take the 4th and final transfer into tonight's B main. Fantastic race there.
What a race. That was a very, very good one. So those 4 will tag the back of the B. Lane Stevens, Kendall Tucker, Justin Stoltz, Helms, Zagers, and Dacus all will end their evening, unfortunately, here as we are getting ready to go. Top 8 now officially transfer into the main event.
15 cars will start as well, so we are going to send 7 home.
Yeah, so your starting grid for the B main, Matt Dixon from Goon Squad Racing off of the pole with Alex Good to his outside. Kevin Click and Andrew May in row number 2. Dustin Griffiths caught that penalty in the heat race. See if he can recover to make the main event with Colton Davis to his outside. Jeremy Zarfos and Mark Broderick teammates once again in row number 4. J.D. Brown and Hayden Spike Harvey in 10th. Trey J. Galgon and Gage Stevens, who put on a heck of a show in the C. We'll see if he can make it through to the B. Braden Eiler, Dustin Hall, and Tyson Landis rounding out the field.
Lane Stevens saying in the Twitch chat that he needs to work on setting up his sliders. You know, there's a lesson in every one of these races, especially when you're racing against the best there is. And that's just part of where the experience comes in. You learn that lesson, you take it into the next race, and then you probably get taught another lesson. And eventually you put them all together, and all of a sudden you're the one showing these boys how it's done. But definitely a good run from Lane, a little bit of bad luck. Going to keep him out of this race here tonight. We are going to go green for 12 laps. Top 8 will advance into tonight's feature event. Let's watch those C-Main guys, see if they can make their way forward, but they have to avoid the crashes that will be there. Matt Dixon going to give him green off of turn number 4. Good start there. Kevin Click is even going to get around the second place car of Alex Good. We've got one car into the fence. Is that Broderick? I believe it is, in turn 1. Dixon out front. Click in second. Good now under fire from Davis and Dustin Griffiths. Davis, a little bit of contact. He's caught up with Zarfos. Both of those cars through the infield. Davis hit the infield wall. Now Dustin Griffiths spins on the front stretch. I think Griffiths will be the cause for the caution. We're going to have to get a look at Jeremy Zarfos. I want to see if he got a black flag, and we will have to see if the admins clear that black flag as well, because he was pushed through the infield by Colton Davis, and I believe got a cut track penalty. And I'm not sure exactly how that's going to sort out, but we'll see what we can do here.
Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic, unfortunately there. But
the caution itself was from Dustin Griffiths making contact with Alex Good out of turn 4 down the front stretch. Unfortunate for Griffiths, who was in the transfer spot there, but not out of this yet. Obviously, there's still a lot to go here, and he's only got to get back up to 8th, currently running or showing in 13th. It's hard to say exactly where he's at. But we're going to get back to green here, working lap 4. Dixon, Good, Click, and that is the 31 of Andrew May.
We are back green, and seems like now most everybody's going back up to the top side of the racetrack, which is a little bit of a change from what we saw in the B.
Dustin Griffiths had his black flags cleared from that spin through the infield. We're watching the guys trying to make their way into this race, and problems right around that transfer battle. 2 guys around.
Trying to find who that was here.
It is Andrew May and Alex Good, the 2 gentlemen who came together. Looks like Good caught an infield tire and spun in front of May. Tyson Landis barely able to avoid that, but
yeah, just got over the infield tires. Zarfos rolled the bottom, cleared it.
Unfortunate for May, who just had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's one of those unfortunate things. You get over on those tires, you do a little wheel hop, and that's usually all she wrote. So, unfortunate break there for Alex Good. He'll be back in the 12th spot, it looks like, according to timing and scoring.
Going to be interesting to see if we keep this racetrack or see a reset for the dash here. We're back to green, working lap 6. 3rd place, J.D. Brown trying to find his way around Kevin Click. We've got 1 car in the fence, 4 wide through turn 2 there for just a moment. Zarfos on the bottom. Braden Eiler has worked his way into this race, currently sitting in 6th. Dustin Griffiths into the outside wall and manually disconnects. For some reason, these drivers are getting caught up when they get crashed, and it automatically kicks them out. Not sure what's going on with that at the moment. Kevin Click, a little bit of contact with Dixon is going to send J.D. Brown to the front.
5 wide down the front straightaway, almost on a quarter mile. Not where you need to be, and Kevin Click really getting in the mix of things with Dustin Hall and Matt Dixon as well. And J.D. Brown, your new leader, he just pretty much trying to run away and hide and get out of the hornet's nest.
You could cover the top 8 with a blanket, and let me talk about 8th. It is Gage Stevens, who won the C-Main and is in this race at the moment, still working his way forward. Zarfos is the man in 5th right now. Him and Eiler making some moves through this field. Everybody trying to tiptoe. White flag is out. Nobody wants to make a mistake and find themselves out of this race. J.D. Brown off of turn number 4 is going to take the B main victory. And Gage Stevens coming across in 8th for your final transfer. So actually 3 of the C main drivers transferring through to tonight's A main.
What a race. Wow.
Yeah, a couple cautions there through the middle, but you know, this is, it's like how they talk about Bristol in NASCAR. They say it's Bristol, baby. When somebody's upset or there's contact or there's a caution, it's Bristol, baby. And that is Lima Land for the sprint cars. It is Lima Land, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to have some contact. We are going to have some hurt feelings. It's just the way that it's going to be, but you definitely are not short on action. That is for sure.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to go into the dash. It looks like no track reset. So we are going to be just about ready to go here. Just about ready to go as the dash cars are getting ready to get lined up. You see, get a good look at Lima Land. One of my favorite tracks, actually, in the country, really, when it doesn't rain out, because it seems that it always does. But one of my favorite tracks, just a high bank, little quarter mile, but it really, really fun to go to. Just a good atmosphere.
Of course, the facility that is linked with the racing and engineering and everything school, which creates interesting opportunities for anybody looking to get into the racing industry, mostly as crew members with various links in NASCAR and other forms of motorsport. Getting ready here for the dash. Drivers having a little bit of fun as they are drawing their numbers to decide where they start in this race.
Yeah, and your James Eden's, your point leader, he will put himself into the dash. We're again waiting to see who the 8 cars are going to be that are going to go for the 6 laps, so that way we get the wonderful guessing how many laps there are, because I'm awful at it. So we'll just have to see, and it actually looks like we're getting ready to go, and they might be lining up according to how they're supposed to be. If that's the case, we'll find out. Bergeron is into the dash. Batista, yeah, that's exactly what we're doing, it looks like. So there's going to be your 8 cars. Heilman.
Who says you can't herd cats?
Well, maybe. Maybe. Do we only got 7 out there?
Yeah, I think we are short a gentleman.
We're gonna have to see who that would be. We'll have to get some confirmation here from.
There he is, Cole Newhoffen working his way into. He's just a little late.
That's not shocking. Little late. He'll tag the tail. All is good in the universe, ladies and gentlemen. So 8 cars, 6 laps, getting ready to go green this next time by. Basically, right now, every single car on the racetrack is in the Pro Series.
that just to be expected here. The top 8 here tonight. Adam Elby going to give him green off of turn number 4. 6 laps the distance. This will set the lineup for tonight's feature. Elby out front. You got David Heileman on the bottom side of the racetrack doing battle with James Eden's contact. Lewis Hewitt and Alex Bergeron. Bergeron's going to lose a wing. Hewitt going to lose his chances here in the dash. No caution will fly. Hayden Cardwell going to take the race lead through 3 and 4, making his way around Adam Elby. Edens and Heileman still doing battle there. Cardwell to the bottom side of the racetrack. Man, he's got it working, Billy.
Yeah, he's one of the best on the sim for a reason. But he's got the 22 machine just absolutely rolling right now. Eden's trying to make something work on the bottom where he likes to be, but right now it's just all Hayden Cardwell. LB's keeping pace with him pretty good, but just not what you want to see out of it. Is Hayden really setting the fastest laps of the race right now?
This might be the white flag right here. Hayden Cardwell back to the bottom side of the racetrack. He's going to catch that moisture off of turn 2. LB in second. Heilemann behind him is Edens and Batista doing battle. A little bit of a slip there from Cardwell, nearly giving this race away, but that will do it. Hayden Cardwell taking the win in the dash. Adam LB in second. David Heilemann in third. John Batista going to be scored in fourth. Edens, Bergeron, front wingless, Soldiers Home in front of Cole Newhalfen, and it will be Lewis Hewitt who will finish 8th after his crash and subsequent donuts in the infield, entertaining everybody during that race.
If you're going to be, be entertaining. That's the way to look at it. Is always be entertaining, no matter what.
You either win the show or be the show, right?
And sometimes you're both. So, should have a pretty interesting evening as these guys are clearing off, and we're getting ready to go for the main event.
Buckeye Bash, right?
Yeah, Brawl. It's the Brawl.
Sorry,
man.
Buckeye Brawl.
It's the Brawl. It's the
Brawl for all.
Yeah, so we're getting ready to go as Zane is getting ready to transfer this over to the main event. I will say the one thing to pay attention to there in that last dash, Alex Bergeron set the second quickest lap, so he's definitely got the speed into that car. So should be very interesting to see how and we've seen that before. Last week at Williams Grove, he started 10th and fell back to 15th and still drove to the feature, or drove up to the win. So
he did that without a front wing too.
Yeah, so Bergeron definitely going to be dangerous. Him and Cardwell should be putting on a heck of a show, trying to pick up actually Bergeron's third feature win of the year. He's sitting just outside the top 10 in points. Hayden Cardwell really hasn't had much luck with DRT. He's been extremely fast in all the races that he's ran, but just no luck at all. Points-wise, Heilemann's been real consistent. The king of consistency is John Batista, though, really, for all intents and purposes. So, I
think the story of this race, as we go into it, and of course we are 30 laps the distance, 40 laps the distance, which is going to make my point even more important. The story will be the changing track conditions. We saw Hayden Cardwell using the bottom side of the racetrack there in 1 and 2. He catches that moisture coming off the corner and really wins that drag race all the way to the top in 3 and 4 and keeps that momentum up. But that will eventually go away. The top's going to get thinner and thinner. The moisture that's still some places in the middle of the track will go away. So it's the guys that can adjust to what's changing out there quickest will be the most successful here throughout tonight's race. And a 40-lap feature, Billy, I mean, this track's going to take a pounding.
Yeah, that's going to be and the track's about gone right now. The bottom side is still pretty good, but you can – the nice thing about Lima Land, though, is you can race through the middle a lot of times. I know myself and a few others have ran some other league races here where it's about like this, running your heat races. The Pro Series especially, this place gets extremely slick. So you really have to make your car work in other areas. So I'd still expect to see James Edens, run in the bottom of the racetrack. You can get the left front just about to the tires, the infield tires, but it's going to be tough to beat Cardwell and LB off the front row. So
yeah, I mean, the slicker this racetrack gets, the more important track position is as well, because once it gets super slick, the fast line is really right on the wall, and then you're talking about slide jobs on a very thin cushion to make passes, and it's just really complicated. But lap traffic will play a part as well. It's not going to take long for these guys to catch the rear of the field. I mean, we've got 24 cars on a quarter-mile racetrack. So it's going to be a wild one, ladies and gentlemen. For 40 laps at the Lima Land Motorsports Park, the Buckeye Brawl here tonight in Dirt Racing Tour action.
Yeah, so we're getting ready to go here shortly.
Starting lineup posted. It is Cardwell and Elby, Heilemann, Batista, Edens, Bergeron, Milhoffen, and Hewitt, Kruger and Stewart, Pritchett, Robles, Osborne, O'Brien, Huntley, Sheridan, Brown, Click, Hall, Zarfos, Eiler, Dixon, Harvey, and
Gage
Stevens. Gage Stevens there. Yeah, so let's take a look here. The 72 car of Jeffrey Stewart getting his best starting position here in Dirt Racing Tour action. Stewart is a Lima Land expert, and he will be looking to make some moves here from the 10th starting position in the 72. Cardwell and Elby, the men out front.
This is going to be a good one. Hopefully we can get quite a few laps in. You'll see 43 on the screen, but it is a 40-lap main event set up because Lima Land, a little bit small, wanted to give a couple insurance laps to make sure the lineup is set correctly. So we're not going to be going green this time by. We're going to give that a couple of laps to make sure everybody's lined up properly, clear any issues if there are any. But this is going to be a heck of a battle, I think, up front. But we've also got, we can't sleep on a lot of these guys in the back. Braden Eiler, Zarfos, Sheridan ran really well in his heat race without a nose wing. J.D. Brown was extremely fast, and actually his teammates on the pole. So they've got a good setup on the car as well. So it's going to be interesting to watch these guys also coming from the rear, and you can do that here with the slower speeds. It just makes passing a little bit easier.
Yeah, the key for those guys, missing the incidents that will happen throughout this field. Hayden Cardwell going to give the green flag here. I don't think it's going to be this time. I think we're going to go next time by. He's going to have David Heilemann right on his rear bumper. We'll see what the choice is going into turn one. Will Cardwell try to cut across in front of Elby? Will he try to hit that low line like he did in the dash? It's going to be interesting and could mean the difference between first and second for this entire race. We are going green this time by 40 laps in the Buckeye Brawl. Green is out. Good start for Cardwell, and he goes to the top side of the racetrack. Elby right onto his rear bumper, able to clear Heilemann, who is under fire from John Batista. Bergeron following Batista on that high line. He might take fourth spot here, but Heilemann holding firm. Lewis Hewitt making some passes there on the high side. I heard some contact at the rear of the field, but everybody is good. Nice clean start here, Billy. Seeing everybody settle in. We're going to see who starts to move forward.
Yeah, and right now, looking at James Edens currently in the 6th spot, so he's doing what he needs to do, just kind of almost waiting for that top side to die so the middle will start coming back in.
That was one of the guys that when you were talking about the middle of the racetrack, the guys that can roll it, he was the one that came to mind right there.
Yeah, but the top 5 really just running around the rim right now. Heilemann trying to make the bottom side work, and it's just, your momentum down there is so slow. The amount of patience it takes to run the bottom, but if you can pick up that little grip in the middle of the corner like he did in 1 and 2, you can actually make it work.
Braden Eiler running into problems in this race. There was no caution, but he has cleared himself out. 24th position for Braden Eiler. Now we get our first caution.
And that
working lap 10.
Would look to be maybe Trey Osborne.
Yes, sir.
We'll go back and watch here in an instant replay, see if we can.
Boy, he caught the right rear on the wall there, and that thing went over quickly.
Yeah, he's already escaped out of there, but you can see him up and over and gone, around he goes.
That
was
looked like a non-wing crash there, honestly.
That was a little interesting. A little bit interesting. But we are back live as we're getting ready to go back green here. We're getting ready to see the 1 to green next time by. And big thing about this place is pace laps do not take long. We are already on 1 to green, so quick night so far for the gentleman in the DRT. But Hayden Cardwell, just like we said, get the restart, get out front, don't make mistakes.
And he's got a good start here to get a jump on Elby. Caught him sleeping. Cardwell coming off the cushion there in turn 2. We talked about that track slicking up, and he is not using the high side to exit turn 2 there. He likes to get under that slick and power down the back straightaway, working well right now as he starts to spread that gap to Adam Elby in second. James Eden's the only guy working the lower lines right now. We've got another caution out on the facility. That is Rico Robles, who is upside down sideways in turn 4. Looked like he had a little bit of contact with Zarfos, who I believe was an innocent bystander. Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, Rico gets a little bit loose. Maybe a little bit of overdrive, but there just gets extremely loose. Gets tagged from behind. Zarfos nowhere to go.
And I think you got to say that crash started in between turns 1 and 2. Where he made contact with the wall, which messed him up down the back straightaway and kept him in the slick. Entered in, got crossed up, and then everything went bad from that point on.
Yeah, really not a lot you can do. Really not a lot you can do at that point, and it's very easy to break your rhythm at this racetrack, and it's harder to even get it back going again.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the big piece. As we're trying to get back to the front of the field as we are back green again, and Cardwell another great start.
Boy, he's doing everything right so far. Hayden Cardwell yet to put a wheel wrong. There's still a lot of race left. We are working lap 15 here as they cross the line. Of course, we are going to lap 43 is where the finish will be. Quick laps at the front of the field. Cardwell's best is a 12.069, and the last lap was a 12.571. So its track is slowing down, but still.
Elby's starting to get a little bit tight, and that makes Batista have to come off the cushion. So Batista, yeah.
Yeah, into the fence goes Elby. Contact there.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Man alive.
Batista.
Really rough deal for Batista there. And that was just one of those accordion effects.
Yeah,
Billy was talking.
We'll go back and watch it. Elby was starting to get tight on the cushion. You can see there, but we'll be on Batista right now. He gets into the wall. Nowhere to really go. That's just one of those. I hate racing deals, but dang, that's a racing deal. I mean, there's really nothing you can do, you know, and you can see that they were doing everything that they could to stay off of each other, but bad news, Batista's now going to restart in the 20th spot. Lewis Hewitt actually off the track as well, so your second point man back there in 20th, so we'll have to keep an eye on him to see where he can recover to. Adam Elby might be in a little bit of trouble here as far as the setup goes on that thing. These cars don't really take a lot of damage on the right side very easily, and Elby, another start that's not to his liking, but Cardwell just taking off and hiding.
Elby in second right now, but he's got the world champion breathing down his neck. Alex Bergeron making his way forward in this race. Not showing that tight problem is the 12 car, but he almost got caught up behind Elby there. Gonna have to start searching around to try and make a pass. Looks like Cardwell not quite out as far as he was, Billy. This track's starting to change, and the drivers second through sixth starting to keep pace with the man out front. We're looking a little farther back. Cole Newhoffen working the bottom side of the racetrack. He's got Kevin Hanley with him, 7th and 8th respectively. LB still holding off Bergeron there for 2nd spot. Kruger and Edens, Swindell Speed Lab teammates, doing battle there. Edens hooking those infield tires to get that thing to turn on the bottom side of the racetrack. LB into the fence, Heilemann into the fence. That cushion is getting very thin, but as we said, as this track slicks off, it is the fast way around. Ooh, Zorfo's problems in front of the leader. Caution did not come out. Cardwell had to slam hard on the brakes. He's going to lose a lot of time, but obviously a good thing because he didn't end up in a crash. Turn 2 bit Zarfos. He was able to get clear.
I'll tell you what, the man on the move, I just noticed him, Rusty Kruger, driving up into the 6th spot. So he started in the 10th position, or 9th position, excuse me. So he's moved up a few spots into 6th, making it work. But right now, it's just such a, it's really a one-lane racetrack. But it looks like the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place cars are really gaining on Cardwell.
Yeah, we're going to see lap traffic here in mere moments if this stays green. Hayden Cardwell tracking down the rear of this field. Gage Stevens will be the first car he's got to deal with, who actually gets pretty loose off of turn 2 there. He's going to go to the bottom side of the racetrack to get out of the way of the race leaders. But it's very complicated to work your way through lap traffic when the top side is really the only way around. You either hope those lap cars get out of the way, or you've got to start doing some sliders or fancy action to make it happen.
As we say that, Bergeron putting a slider on LB, but the whole key is keeping your momentum up. LB's keeping his momentum up in a different manner by driving off the cushion coming off the corner. That way the car's not getting, overly free and getting yourself into the fence. But Bergeron, oh no!
Oh, yeah, Heilemann around after that contact.
Bergeron with a mistake.
And I think that was another one of those accordion effects, because I think the way that LB got into turn 3 messed Bergeron up, which messed Heilemann up.
Yeah, they all started checking up for LB, getting ready to go on a spin cycle, and that's just wrong place, wrong time.
You know what? I said that, but really he didn't check up for LB. He did the exact same thing that LB did. They both got in that corner and found a slick spot, and there was just nowhere for Heilemann to go. So, no blame there on LB. Bergeron takes charge of that. He says sorry in the chat, but it is David Heilemann who is the man who is sorry, who has lost that 4th place position now.
Yeah, so we're going to get a restart here with 10 to go. But James Eden's caught a little bit of that too, so we'll have to make sure he doesn't have any damage on the 52.
Heilemann off the track. Cardwell going to give us green here, this time by working lap 33. That means there is 11 laps left in this race.
Cardwell with a heck of a start once again. LB just not getting the drive off the bottom like he'd like.
LB, Bergeron, Edens, Kruger, the men chasing Hayden Cardwell down. J.D. Brown, man, has made a lot of positions up. He has worked his way into 7th place.
Yeah, J.D. Brown on the move, and we're going back and looking at John Batista, mired back in traffic right now. He's sitting in the 13th spot. So this is a big recovery points night for John. But we'll go back up front just to check and see. Cardwell's really not running away with anything right now. Bergeron's just kind of tracking LB, seeing what he needs to do to try to get around him.
Yeah, Bergeron and Edens trying different things, but they're not really working out at the moment. Top side of the racetrack holding firm for the top 2. Kevin Hanley and J.D. Brown doing battle for the 6th position. Brown on the bottom side of the racetrack. It is a train of fast cars here in the Buckeye Brawl, but the caution will wave once again.
looks like that'll be Mr. Newhoffen. We're going to go back and see if we can find that on instant replay real quick.
Caught an infield tire. Went to the inside of the racetrack to get off this facility and somehow triggered a yellow. That's a little strange, actually. I thought he was off the racing surface, but maybe not.
Yeah, he's been really trying to make the bottom side work going over the tires, but yeah, and he just basically stopped onto the racetrack there. So tough break for the 8 car. We'll look to see him next week. And the beginning of the Pro Series as well. So looks like we're 1 to green, 5 to go.
Wow, LB, first time he got a really good start there. Cardwell's going to try something different on the bottom side of the racetrack, really a lane off the bottom. It worked out for him, but LB right there. See if he can put some pressure on the late model world champion. Edens to the inside of Bergeron. We'll see if he's going to try to slide up in front. He will leave space for Bergeron, holding on to 4th. Boy, Cardwell on the high side. Not necessarily risking it all because that's where he's got to be, but it is a thin line between holding on to that race lead and finding yourself in serious trouble. We are coming up on 2 laps to go. Hayden Cardwell pacing this field. Behind him, Adam Elby and Alex Bergeron can do nothing but watch as Cardwell gets farther and farther in the distance. White flag is out for Hayden Cardwell, the late model ace turned sprint car pro, looking for 2 more corners to find his first victory in the Dirt Racing Tour, and he will take the Buckeye Brawl at Lima Land Motorsports Park.
Finally got to see some luck out of Cardwell there. He's had a rough start to the season. As we will see if we can get these boys into the broadcast booth as they're getting their pictures taken on the front straightaway.
Here is your top 3. Hayden Cardwell, Adam Elby, and Alex Bergeron.
Not too shabby of a race there, as we'll bring up the feature finish here for the Buckeye Brawl. Hayden Cardwell picks up the win. Actually, I didn't click on everything that I needed to. So there is that. Hayden Cardwell picks up the win. Adam Elby, Alex Bergeron round out your podium. James Edens, good points night for him. Rusty Kruger in 5th, another good points tonight for him too. J.D. Brown, Michael Sheridan, big recovery there from the 15th starting spot. I would say the man of in that left column there, though, John Batista picked up back up to 11th after restarting 20th. So good points recovery for John there. Kevin Click, Jeffrey Stewart, Dustin Hall, Matt Dixon, Corey Pritchett, Cole Newhoffen, David Heilman, Gage Stevens, Zarfos, Hewitt, Robles, Osborne, and Eiler all finished outside of the top 15. But it looks like AJ's got Hayden.
Yeah, here we go. Hayden Cardwell, your iRacing World of Outlaws late model champion turned sprint car pro, taking victory here in the Buckeye Brawl at Lima Land Motorsports Park. Hayden, we were talking. You've had a fast car in a lot of these DRT races, but not caught the luck. And tonight, my friend, I don't want to call it luck because you never put a wheel wrong, really putting on a show there in that 40-lap feature.
Oh yeah, it feels good to actually be on the podium for once in this league. Come in, that's what we were shooting for. Even if we would have been able to put it 3rd, I would have been happy. I don't even think we've probably finished 2 of these races, so to come out and pretty much dominate all night, it gets my confidence up pretty high.
And this is a good time to have confidence as well. We've got the Pro Series starting up on Monday, not going to Lima Land right off the bat, but winning here at Lima Land against competition like you have, it's going to be the same guys you're going to be doing battle with when the Pro Series goes there as well. So talk to us about how it feels to pick up a win like this going into what is the most important time of the year.
Yeah, it feels good, like you said, but coming in these races, if you just look at the field, you got over half of the roster in pro in here, so this league is no joke, and if you can pull a win off in here, it definitely boosts that confidence up, and to see the 12 car behind you, it even makes you even happier because whenever you're not following him for once, it actually feels good.
And that's not an easy thing to do either. But definitely a fantastic performance here tonight, Mr. Cardwell. We wish you all the best luck going forward with DRT and in the pro season. Congratulations, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to thank all my guys at Slick Simsport real quick, and James Edens at Swindell Speed Lab with a hot sub tonight. He hooked us up. Couldn't ask for better. And just got to thank Chris Ferguson at shopbergie22.com. You can get all your latest apparel there. He does a lot for me. And yeah, you and Billy for the awesome broadcast, and Zane and everybody that puts the show on, boys. It means a lot. Thank you.
And actually, congratulations too. Picked up your first late model win down in Tennessee this past weekend. I saw. So
Yeah,
good job
thank you.
there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all boys later.
There you have it, your race winner picking up wins in real life and on the sim racetrack as well. Let's bring in the second place driver. It is Adam Elby in the 74. Adam, maybe you wanted a little bit more, but to be able to come home in second here tonight, still nothing to hang your head about. Keeping your car glued to that top side of the racetrack and holding on against a field of very tough competition.
Yeah, definitely not a run I'm proud of because I feel like I was kind of all over the place, just barely hanging on, but definitely a good finish that I'm proud of. So, it was definitely pretty tricky. I just felt like I had no forward grip off of the corners, and usually a setup that I got in right now is real good in middle and the bottom, but I just could tell it, it was never really going to come in. So I was just kind of hanging on, and I knew if I would prepare for a slider that was going to come, I could turn down and cross it over, which me and Alex did a few times. So that was definitely good to be able to hold him off. That's something to hold our heads up about.
Yeah, definitely, very important as we go into the pro season here starting on Monday. We've been talking about that all night and the confidence of a second place finish battling on the podium with guys like Cardwell and Bergeron. It's got to make you feel good going in.
Yeah, definitely. Last year, I don't think I qualified better than 15 once all season, and it hurt me real bad. It's super hard to pass in those heat races with how stacked they are. So I've been able to put some nights together. Like tonight we qualified fourth, and it helped us out a lot. It sure makes the night a lot easier. So it's been good practice getting that going, and then once you get up there, you got to be able to hold that spot or be able to move forward. And we just held on tonight, but maybe another night we can move forward. But we're up there battling with the top guys, and it's been a while since I kind of been in that position, so it does feel good to put some good nights together for sure, especially with this group of guys. There's a lot of good competition in this series.
Well, there you have it. Not the happiest man in the room, but at least still a happy man. Adam Elby coming home second. Congratulations, my friend, and good luck going forward with DRT and in the Pro Series.
Thank you guys, appreciate it. Thanks for putting this on. It's a blast to come and do. Can't wait to see how big it ggets. Gotta thank my guys over at Swindell Speed Lab, all of our sponsors, Bear Archery, K1 Race Gear, Bell Helmets, and then all the fans for watching. Also got to thank my dad and girlfriend for always supporting real racing and sim racing. They're there watching all the time, so it means a lot. Thanks, guys.
There you have it. Second place, Adam Elby. Let's bring in your third place finisher tonight, Alex Bergeron. We've got to talk to you multiple times throughout this Dirt Racing Tour series. But normally you're the man on the top spot on the podium. Had to come through the field a little bit here tonight. Talk to us about that race.
Yeah, definitely had to go through some cars there and there, and definitely made the job harder tonight. But especially on a track all the way to the top like that, really tough to pass. But that's Lima Land. We did what we had to do and get ourselves in the top three, and definitely tried to do some passes on Adam to get a second and beat Cardwell there. But it's just very hard to pass on this track, and starting first would definitely been easier.
Speaking about how hard it was to pass, the fact that you were able to do it has to give you a good amount of confidence going into your title defense with the iRacing World of Outlaws Pro Series, which starts on Monday. So, how do you feel going into that and your title defense? Does that bode well for your future on Lima Land in the Pro Series or any other track as well?
Oh, definitely. We had one of the fastest cars out here tonight, and we're running, clocking the same lap times and even faster than Cardo up front, even behind LB there. So I think we definitely have a fast car and a fast driver as well. So I think we can do our best and get on top again.
Working his way up in the DRT standings. We're going to be watching Alex Bergeron going forward here in the series and in the Pro Series as well. Congratulations on a podium finish tonight, my friend, and good luck going forward, especially trying to defend your iRacing Pro title.
Thank you, but I gotta thank Team ABR Esports, our team, with Rebecca and Jason, all of our partners, CSI Shocks, Logic Cat, BK Designs, and Martin from Equipments. Everybody else that supports the team and all the fans, my dad for watching, and you guys for doing an awesome job broadcasting and putting this series up.
There it is, your top three here tonight in the Buckeye Brawl. Top spot going to Hayden Cardwell, Adam Elby, and Alex Bergeron rounding out your top three. Billy, that was a wild race. I think the key was obviously to earn that track position for the feature, because once we got to the feature, the ability to pass was so complicated that not a lot of guys were able to do it.
Yeah, I think I really track just I think caught a lot of people off guard. I don't think anybody really expected it to be as slick as it was, as quick as it was. So, you live and you learn, and you put that one in the notebook of when you see a track like this again of what to do. And good practice for the Pro Series stuff. Running it last year, the tracks get dead. That's just the nature of the sim right now. So tough race for a couple guys, but good recovery for Batista. Bergeron had a good night. Edens had a good points night. J.D. Brown flexed some muscle. And really right now is the right time to, quote unquote, get fast. Rusty Kruger, same thing with him. So good run for a lot of the Swindell Speed Lab guys and the Slick Simsport guys. So Pro Series is definitely going to be good. I'm looking forward already to next week at Eldora, one of our favorite racetracks that I think races just extremely well. It's fun to watch guys run the wall on a high banked half mile.
Yeah, and I think the bottom side of the racetrack, bottom middle, kind of is an option there at Eldora if it gets slick enough for guys. So it's going to be an interesting deal going into what is the the most historic and large scale dirt track that we have in the United States of America. I don't care what you Knoxville guys say. Eldora
That is
is the
100%
place.
factual.
I'm like at me in the chat, which I appreciate everybody hanging out with us here tonight, whether you're on Facebook or Twitch. A lot of people hanging out with us in the chat, and we appreciate each and every one of you. We hope that you will join us next week at Eldora, another round in the Buckeye State, and also check us out Monday. As we were talking, you got your Swindell Speed Lab, your Slick Sim Sport. Those are the two teams to beat going into this Pro Series. But also, Elbows Up Sim Sport got 6 drivers in as well. So it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. The highest level of iRacing that there is for the Dirt Sprint Car guys. And you guys can check all of that out on iRacing's channel on YouTube, iracing.com/live, and I believe their Facebook as well.
Yeah,
so that
they're all
keep track of these DRT drivers as they do battle in the one that has all the money and drama and prestige behind it. $10,000 to the series champion, not to mention $300 to win every race. So I mean, it's definitely important for these guys.
Yeah, and it's good. That's partially why the DRT was created. It's a good training ground for the guys that maybe aren't in the Pro Series but want to be there someday. So big thanks to Zane's the one that does all this. Me and AJ get to do the fun part. We say it every week, but Zane is the one that gets to do the fun, or goes through all the the headaches of points and everything else throughout the week. We get the fun part, but big thanks to Zane for getting all this put together, and especially during the pro season when he's he is qualified into the pro series, so he's got to be on his game driving wise as well. So we
this is a hell of an organization we got here, considering that the head admin is a pro, the announcer's a pro, and you are a former pro. So I mean
arguably,
I hate to pat ourselves on the back, but god dang,
I'll pat myself on my 34th out of 35th place points finish.
Well, I was 33rd, so I mean, if we want to talk about it, let's
you beat
talk
me.
about it.
That's whatever. But we will see you guys all next week at the Eldora Speedway, the virtual Eldora Speedway. So we're looking forward to it, and we'll see you guys all next time. Peace out.